What's up, Generals? B2. Look, I'm going to do a weekend update. I know it's been a few weeks since we've done one. So I'm going to do that weekend update, but I'm going to focus on the new unit, the Railgun. So stay tuned. All right, guys. So the first game you can see is just absolutely ridiculous. I'm waiting on this coalition to finish off here. They're 519 of 520 at the update. Someone couldn't just take one more VP. So what happened is I ended up getting into a game that we were going to play a 5-man, but I ended up being the 6th man. And so what I did was I just truced up with them. I let them take all of this because this is somebody that I'm shared security council with, shared intel. So I just went over and took the Americas, and while they were doing their thing over on the side, but obviously didn't join a different coalition, and honestly just didn't want to put much effort into the game, so they just kind of left me alone, and I went and did my thing, right? So I even tried to take some land, but they were just faster than me. It wasn't worth it to be the headache over here, so I went across and just did my thing in the Americas. But this other coalition happens to consist of Mao as the leader, Winter Soldier, Rice Dude, Trump, and Base Hunter, all guys from the Discord, and so I just went a different direction. Was partnered up with Japan, but he went inactive, and then you guys know the rest of the story on that. But certainly, 519 of 520 is one of those things, right? So I want to point this out too. Like normally I do the AWACS, and I'll fly it over, but lately I've just been doing the ground radar, and I really like it better. I know that it's not as quick to go and scout something, but with AWACS you can't tell if there's an infantry unit in there, and I don't know, it's just not as clean as the radar for me. I know radar takes forever, but if you go down and you look at the radar side and you go to the furthest upgrade, you'll see that it does fly, so it has a good range, a ferry range 10,000. You're also going to get a really increased range of 250. I know it's not as big as the AWACS, and these are harder to get rid of. So with an AWACS, you could fly basically one plane over there and take it out. With the radar, you're going to have to cross a stack of SAMs or some sort of anti-aircraft. So I do think the radar, and if you park them in places like this, you're going to pick up the naval units. It just ends up being a better unit. So, but what I'm going to do is a really in-depth video on the different types of stealth detection and areas of coverage, right? So you can make up your own decision and play that. Now, I know that I have a ton of military logistics through here, but when I realized that I'm not going to be able to beat this other coalition, I went for stats, right? So if you're going to look at the front page here and you look at our stats, this is going to be where you're going to pick up on the economic side. So and I'll show you that right here. So your economic is going to boost your score as well, and I'm 448 on economic. Most people don't focus it. Most people go for big amounts of infantry, and they move on. So with the timer down to 3 real hours, it's a 1x game. There's nothing else I can build in here, so these little places that I missed, it's going to be 3 hours and 2 minutes, so I'm right past the window to build these. Definitely not going to gold them in. So these are a really quick way to get a boost for not that many resources, right? At the end of the game, if you run these military logistics, you can pump your score up a little bit if that's something that you're interested in. So, all right, so game number 2. This is the community game that we started on the Discord, so everybody joins in. You pick your coalition based on who's close to you, and then you just start hammering out people. So no treaties, no truces, just a smash mouth game of everybody in there, which I didn't think was going to go over well, to be honest. Just, people get upset and they, they just are like, well, you took my whatever, and, then you end up with hard feelings. But for me, I thought it was a pretty good idea. And what unit is that? Farmer. I don't want to leave that unit in there. Sorry. Can't talk and film the video at the same time, apparently. I don't want to leave my anti-aircraft in there because if it does go to rogue, they're going to take it out. So I'll leave like the little, and that's exactly what I did. I did. Made the wrong one. I wanted to leave this guy in here. Oh, that's Pakistan. Yeah, he's not going to have a unit in there. You know what? Let me just cancel. Cancel. Put it back together and try it again. So I'm going to split it. I'm going to take my infantry because I want to cap the unit, and I want to take my AA with me. So I'm going to take this guy out and move those units over. All right, perfect. So it'll have enough firepower, even if there was 2 rogues in there, which I'm hoping that I can get over there. Let me see what the timer says. Yeah, the timer's going to be 44 minutes late, so if that town goes to rogue, we're going to end up with a fight. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to move this unit to here. I'm going to split this guy and bring one unit to here, and then, you know, when I get up in the morning, I'll move them into that town to take it. I'll have basically have capped 3 towns. So let's look at the scoreboard. Yeah, base is pretty high up there. That's the coalition that we're after, Asian David and those guys. So we are coming for you. I don't mind if you see the troops around here. We've got enough to repel anything, and we come down here. I'm not going to show you the big board. I'm just going to show you that there's plenty of resources, and there's plenty of troops to repel anything that they're going to be bringing through. Because I know base, I know you're watching this video. So moving along to the last game, let's go ahead and do my epic RPG stuff here and reset those cooldowns. This is another game with guys that I know. So if we look at the coalitions on the score, we're in second on the coalition list. We've got 5. So this one over in Europe is pretty big. Our coalition is Kill Switch, Army Man, Bruin, and Base Hunter. If we take a look at the scoreboard, and we pop through, you can see how we're fighting this red flag group right now. USA, Mexico. But we've taken over. Argentina was in their coalition, so we kicked Argentina out, and now we're going to be moving to move Bolivia. I mean, I'm sorry, Brazil out. Bolivia's on our team, but we've knocked about 3 towns out. So Brasilia, yeah, Montevideo is a different country. That's Uruguay. But you can see where we've taken a couple towns, 1, 2 here, and progressing on the other. So that's going to be kind of our play. And then I'm sure after that, we're going to be moving up through Mexico, Cuba, and taking the U.S. out as well. So let me see. So I got a 10 stack here I need to do something with. Let's leave 1. So we're going to go 7. We're going to leave the long range guy, and then we're going to is this a 4X? Yeah, it's a 1X game. So we are going to kind of knock out Uruguay, because that's going to have me at war, and I'll show you what I mean. It's going to take longer to with these 3 little pieces of land that he has left, he's going to stay at war, which is going to hurt your morale, right? So if I go to this city and I look at my morale here, you're going to see that because I'm at war with 3 nations, I have a -6. That's what takes longer for towns to stop smoking. So what I have to do is get the surrounding territories down, right? You saw that. It says at the very bottom, enemy neighbors -10. That's the land that's around it that's hostile. So I have to like clear the land that's close to it and lower the morale threat on there. So I'm going to test how long this takes. It's 1 hour and 42, and I can waypoint back as long as it's 3:25, so it's going to be past the midnight mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel this, and then I'm going to set it to go, but I'm going to do a delay, and I'm going to do a delay of 4 hours. Let me see. I want it to go right after midnight. So they're going to be in the town just waiting, basically. So it's not going to wait long enough. Let me set the delay. I basically need it to go, sorry. I need it to go on the arrival time. It's 1 hour and 42. So I need to set it for like 3. Yeah, somewhere in there. So what that's going to do is that they're going to stay here. Yeah, so it's an hour extra, but at 1 a.m. on day 7, it will now leave here, and at midnight is when the rogues pop out. So basically for me, that's 4 hours. That's 8:12 Eastern time zone. So it's going to wait until after that time zone and then shoot out and grab this land, right? So it's not going to do anything for the morale today, but I know that I have no fear of this. So now, if I wanted to, I could waypoint them up, you know. It's 10 hours total, right? So 12 hours to get there and back. So I don't know if I want to do that 16-hour trip. That can actually get completed in the day cycle. So that's going to be perfect. So they're going to be able to set the delay after midnight, go at 1 p.m., and it's going to take 16 hours. So it'll be 17. It will be 5 p.m. tomorrow. They'll go back to the city. That way, if this morale is not high enough and it's still smoking, I have my defense back in that town. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. It'll be easy to recreate that. So now with these guys, I can go right to this town and then waypoint them up and then get this combat station out of here, right? So you see these guys are set. I set the wrong guys. B2. What are you doing? Let's cancel. And then we're going to pull these guys out. Let's do this first, and then I'll move it back through. So We're going to go here, and then we're going to actually go right to Porto Alegre. So these guys were going out. We're going to then set the delay. So the arrival time, it's 2 hours. So we're going to set this out to 2:30. Now this should give a 4. Yep. So now it's 4 hours and 5 minutes. It is going to be about an hour longer than it needs to be, but that's perfect. And then we're going to waypoint them up, and then we're going to waypoint them back. It's going to be a 15:45. So there we're good. So hopefully that shows you the set delay timer and gives you a good look at the troops out here. So we're a little light on defense on the coastline, honestly. So that's something that we're going to have to work out. And I know that what I'm doing is obviously doing the same thing I always do, which is AIP subs and on my coastline, and I'm going to patrol them. So I have to look at my towns where I can build them, and that's not going to be one of them that I can build right now. So I'm going to set a building queue. Now this is something you get with the Security Council, so I can go to the level to build these subs now, right? So when that building starts building, I'm going to be required to have a Naval Base 2, Arms Industry 1, but I'm going to have to also build a secret weapons lab. So I want to get these going, even though the arms industries are pretty important. Like, you're going to want to get a defense in here as soon as possible. So I'm going to put those buildings in the queue. That's the brilliance of the Security Council, is I don't have to be online, and those will start pumping out the units that I need, right? So I'm going to also do that and put that in the queue as well. So so that's the game for the Americas. My Poland game, now this game is with a really, really good coalition, really fast. So we're 18 days in. It is a 4X, and if I look at it on the scoreboard, we are in first as the coalition. And if we take a look at the diplomacy, you'll see how we've got 4 of the 5 top spots, and I think we're getting ready to go in on Saudi. And they know it because they've got the air ping here. But you can see how this is what I'm going to talk about too, these railguns that are all around. So I've got a radar here. They've got some radars going there, and then we've got a radar over here. So we know everything on the border. That's the good thing about the ground radar. Now, it looks like they're fighting over here. Who is that rogue state? Yeah, so they're going to go cap those cities in Israel. Hopefully they start moving. Now, I would be willing to bet that somewhere in here they've got a radar watching our pings as well. It just makes sense on there. So, but I'm Poland, and I've got the railguns out here. Now, this is where I want to stop and actually talk about the railguns for a little bit, because I think you're going to love it. When you show this unit, so like right here on the units, I have the 2nd tier railgun too. So I'm going to show you what the stats are. I'm actually show you what they are from the beginning, because you're not going to believe. I mean, this is like one of the most overpowered units, and if you're not using them, you're going to want to get in there. So on the 1st level railgun, you're getting something. You're almost getting like an armored fighting vehicle that can shoot at ships. Like, you can do 8 damage on any ships that come close by. So if you have this on your shoreline and a Corvette comes up early game, it's smoked. It can't even get into the port because you're going to be hitting it so many times in a row, right? Now, the radius is small, but it's also small on a Corvette. It's an attack range 50. And if you look at Corvettes, right? So if I pop back over here and I pull open the 1st level Corvette, you're going to see that their range is only 50. So in order for this Corvette to get close enough to you, it's going to take damage from the railgun. It's a good early game. Now, I say early game. You still have to build let me show you the cost for it, because you still got to get these buildings out. So it's possible. You got to wait till day 3, and you also have to have built secret weapons, an Army Base 2, an arms industry, and researched it. So what holds it up is that secret weapons lab. Typically you can get an Army Base out quick, but then to get the arms industry 1 and flip over, sometimes somebody can get a Corvette out a little bit quicker because you're waiting for your secret weapons lab to go. You're going to need the secret weapon labs anyway, because you're going to do a mix of probably the subs and the railguns in there. So you're going to get something that can guard your coast. Now, if they've got 3 infantry in a transport coming over and your railgun's there, forget about it. They ain't making it in. It's just perfect. So now you're going to go look at the next tier of railgun and watch this. Now you're going to be able to do, and so now you've got basically a rocket launch system at day 3 that can defend your coastline from ships, take out tanks, do damage on infantry, and shoot down planes and helicopters. Like, it should be illegal how lethal this thing is in here, and it can be transported 5,000 on the KC-390. So it's just crazy. So now look, I mean, that's not even last level. If I go to the last level, now look at it. Now this thing can shoot down missiles too at the same time, right? You get that. So it's got 11 damage. So now you can run 1 SAM and like 3 railguns and really just hammer people. You need to shoot long range? No problem, because it's shooting at 75 now, which outshoots most ground stuff. Now, I think MLRS, the multiple rocket launch system, MRLS, let's see how far that shoots out. So at max unit, that bad boy is going to shoot at 100. So that will outshoot the railgun, but you're just going to move the railgun in and take them out. That's basically what's going to happen. So anyway, that's the railguns and the update on here. We've pretty much got this game handled. We're just going to cruise on out. I mean, we've got one guy, Ender, who's just kind of lagging behind, but I mean, he started Austria. He had like 3 VPs in Austria. I mean, your cities are so compact, so it's hard to get a good start on there. But I'd imagine Saudi's our next one. So last game, loaded up. Started it fresh with a game yesterday with some guys that I don't know but there are some guys on the server, so we're planning on bringing over into one coalition. India is Ham, so Ham, my buddy, who talks about himself in the third person. You got to sit in a chat with him. It's like completely confusing, to be honest. So we did jump down here and take some land. We're going to start smoking out Indonesia and taking this land probably on into Australia, depending on the way it shakes out. So these guys did join a different coalition here, but we do have Juicy. It's a community game, basically, but I think Ham's going to join, and then we're going to go back to one of our regular teams. Look at Winter in Brazil. He's already off to a great start. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, this is a community game that we started yesterday. The War Beast, I know him. HJ's in. Let's see, 13 Hello is a new guy. Few guys in here. New guy from Shade. So yeah, anyway, the next couple of days will be interesting. So hope you guys enjoyed the weekend update. I know that went fast, but I wanted to talk about the railgun. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.